Thank you. Hello, I'm Dave and this is Logan, out once again on the New Forest for a walk. Thanks for joining us. Now today we're at a place called FAWLEY, a little village nestled on the western shore of the Solent. It's about 7 miles from Southampton, and we'll be going to be doing a 5-mile circular route. It's going to take us south over some lovely heathland and meadows to a really idyllic lake, and then we'll be coming east and paying a visit to the delightful little inlet quay at Ashlett Creek. So do join us. Are we ready? A bit cold today, aren't we? The sun's out, but it's still quite early in the morning. It's going to warm up. Let's go. Well, before we start our walk, I thought we'd have a look at this delightful little church that's just close to the outskirts of the village. Turn round so you can have a look. Isn't that lovely? Church of All Saints. Now, there was a church recorded here back in 971, but the present church started to be built in 1170 and had further additions up till 1340. But unfortunately it was bombed in 1940 and very badly damaged, losing all the stained glass windows, and it wasn't until 1954 that the church was repaired and reconsecrated. The original dedication was probably to St. Nicholas, the patron saint of seafarers. But All Saints now as well, it was the last church to be seen by sailors as they left Southampton Water. It's got 6 bells, I believe. The earliest dates back to 1603. And in the west window, apparently, of the St. Nicholas's Chapel, there's a collage made from recovered stained glass from the bombing. I wonder if, I notice there's a little window up here on the side. I wonder if that's the actual window that I was talking about. Okay, well, we're just going to wander across the little village green, have a quick look at the pub, and then we'll carry on with the walk. Well, what a lovely little church that was. We're just heading across the green to make my way out through the village. Now, Fawley is probably best known for the fact that it's right next to a whopping great big oil refinery. In fact, the oil refinery there is the largest in the UK, provides something like 20% of the UK's refinery capacity, something like 2,300 people employed there. But it's a good site as crude oil's brought in by ocean tankers. I think the terminal there is a mile long. There's also a large chemical plant there. Although there's been a settlement at Fawley for many centuries, it wasn't really until the oil refinery came in the early 1920s that it grew significantly. Even now it's still quite a small village compared to the 2 villages right by it, Holbury and Blackfield. Well, we're nearly out of the village, and I just want to show you the pub, or the Falcon Hotel. And the original pub here was constructed in the 1700s and was called the New Inn, and was renamed the Ship and became the Falcon in 1779 and was rebuilt really in 1850. And during the 19th century it was the terminus of the Fawley Flyer, which was a horse-drawn coach that ran 3 times a week to Southampton. And the first landlord, Mr. Waterman, was killed by the Flyer, and his ghost calls occasionally to keep an eye on things. In fact, there are reports of at least 7 different ghosts who haunt the place. So we won't hang around for too long, but what we are going to do is follow this little path down by the side of the pub, and this is going to take us out into the countryside. we've left the little village of Fawley and crossed the B3053, headed up a nice little track, and now heading really into the countryside. But there really is quite a difference in scenery here. You can see this is over to my, well, this is looking north, and there in the distance above those trees is the delightful oil refinery. I'm pleased to say we're not going to be going there. And then we've just got meadows here. Oops. Right, fortunately we've not got to go in that field. We're now going to go heading west, or should I say southwest, and following a fairly straight path deeper into the forest. Well, another quite dramatic change in scenery. We've left the, well, what I would call New Forest lawn area, lots of ponies grazing in the morning sunshine, and I can just show you over my left shoulder, it's still very much open but covered in almost impenetrable gorse, with still got the yellow colour coming through. And we're going to carry on heading, I say it's southwest, I'd describe it. It's I'm filming, well, the middle of May. The sun's out, it's very early in the morning, not too many clouds in the sky, lovely temperature for walking. There is a little bit of a chilly breeze coming from the north, which is cooling things down a little bit. And again, show you the diversity of this walk. As we head downhill off this path, we're going to be heading into a little bit of deeper woodland, with mainly consisting of oak trees and beech trees. And eventually we're going to come across a little stream at the bottom. I should say, as we're walking along this little section, there was a sign that said you had to keep your dogs on the lead, but it's only for a short section. So my hound is behaving himself. We're just making our way out of the wooded area and a little bit more open up here. And this is Tom's Down on my left. And just on my right, a few houses which signifies the edge of the Blackfield village. Oh, I always love these bluebells, still very much out in bloom. So it's always a lovely time of year to be seeing them. Yeah, it's very peaceful through here, and as I walk along here, ever so often I get a glimpse, and you can see just in the background, I know it's a bit of a hazy day, but there's a whopping great big chimney there, and that is the Cowshot chimney, part of the Fawley power station, although the power station closed in 2013 and is currently in the process of being decommissioned, I believe. And the tower is 650 foot high. I think it's due to come down in September of this year though. Well, we're just coming across this open heathland, Tom's Down, just coming to the end of it. But everywhere I look, there's this, looks like a sea of red. I don't know if it's coming across on film at all. It's like a, well, I'm sure it's a heather of some variety, but so from a distance, the further back you look, it just has this red rust effect. Really is quite pretty. Well, we've come off the heathland and now still going east, passing by this delightful lake, well, it's called Mopley Pond, and it's a formal gravel workings. It's about 3 acres in total, split by 3 islands, and there's lily beds and reed beds. Plenty of ducks quacking about by the looks of things, and I've been told that there are carp as big as 26 pounds in here. They're quite popular with anglers. Isn't it beautiful? Just to the east of the lake, somewhere in there, is the base of a pumping house that we used in World War II for the Pluto project. Now, Pluto stood for Pipeline Under the Ocean and was a network of storage tanks, pumping stations and pipelines in southern England to ensure an adequate supply of fuel to Allied armies as they advanced across mainland Europe. And basically there were some huge storage tanks not far from here, and the pipe came along here and fuel pumped to Leap and onto the Isle of Wight. So I haven't been able to find the concrete base. I expect it's become overgrown. But if you get a chance to look at our video walk at Leap, we actually explored the site of where the Pluto pipeline left mainland UK and went across to the Isle of Wight and then on to France. There's a little memorial there. Well, I've been following a little track alongside a conifer plantation. I'll show you where I've come from. There's the plantation in the background. That's Badminton Common. It's lovely. The sun's beginning to really come out now. And then I'll turn around. Hopefully the sun won't go right in the camera lens in the distance, or the ever nearer cow shot chimney. I say, all the time that's still here, you're never going to get lost because you've always got that as a reference point. Right, well, just in case you are following the route that I put at the beginning, we've now recrossed the B3053 and just come down a little track that passes Badminton Farm, and we're now going to head east towards the shoreline through this little slightly overgrown but nevertheless delightful country path. Watch out for the nettles, Logan. Lovely to see the hawthorn blossom out in the sunshine, buttercups. There are some really lovely old oak trees as well. Anyway, we're now just about to come to our final destination, a really pretty little Ashlett Creek. And as it comes into view, you'll see what I mean. Isn't this lovely? It's a very pretty tidal inlet of Southampton Water, and it gets its name for ash, which is the Viking custom of planting an ash stave into the ground where their ships first landed, and fleet or flet, which basically is a creek or a stretch of safe water. So let's go and have a little look, shall we? We'll start off with the pub. This is the Jolly Sailor pub. It's about 160 years old, an old smuggler's pub. It was a former farmhand's cottage on the Drummond estate in the late 1700s and early 1800s, and it became a beer house before it eventually became a pub in the mid-19th century. And then just panning to the left, that white building up there is the old Coast Guard house. Let's go and have a little wander and investigation at this mill. And here we are beside a very well preserved tidal mill, which I believe is now a sailing clubhouse. Anyway, it was built in 1816 to replace a much older mill. In fact, there may well have been two mills side by side. And it's a water mill that's actually driven by the rise and fall of the tide. And as you can see, it's got a mansard roof. And here we are just on the other side of the mill. And as you can see, there's a mill pond to the side of it. In fact, salt production was the main industry around here until the 19th century, and then corn milling became Ashlett's principal industry. Oh, it is quite pretty, isn't it? The quay is a natural creek. In the old days, ships up to 150 tons were brought up at high tide and unloaded at the quay, which is called Victoria Quay, built in 1887 to celebrate Queen Victoria's Golden Jubilee. We'll follow our way around to the sea by Ashlett Sailing Club and show you what I'm looking at. In the far distance, those are some of those oil tankers that I was talking about right at the beginning, and either unloading oil, I expect. And I said that terminus is about a mile long, and then just if I come out a little bit further, in the very far distance, I don't know if you can see, I can just about make out the Spinnaker Tower at Portsmouth, and then slightly a little bit nearer, the little tower jutting up, that's the Calshot Tower at what was RAF Calshot at Calshot Spit. It was an RAF station, very important during the war, where flying boats were repaired there. I have done a little video about it, do look that up. Well folks, we've come to the end of our walk. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give us a thumbs up, a like, and do make a comment. And if you haven't already done so, please do subscribe, and that way hopefully you'll be able to join us for another walk sometime in the future. Well, Logan and I are going to make our way back to Fawley. He got a little bit muddy down at the quayside. So until we meet again, thanks for watching, and cheerio.